Seeing how this movie quickly jumped to the top of Mal ratings, I just had to check it out. Last time that happened it was with Erased, and we all saw how overrated that one was. So here I am watching the movie, wondering what could possibly be the reason it was rated so high, and why everybody calls it the best anime of all times, only to realize it's because it's exactly like Erased. The first half is a typical school comedy in the likes of Kokoro Connect. A boy and a girl occasionally switch bodies and try to adjust to their new lifestyles. What caused this weird phenomenon? We are never told. It's the power of plot convenience. How did they accept this sudden change that would normally drive them insane, and instead manage to adjust to each other's timetable and occupations in a single day? Stop thinking about it, just enjoy the occasional naughty touches, such as the boy groping the breasts while in the female body, or the girl making a woman to fall in love with her while in the male body. It made no sense in how easily they went along with it, but it was fun seeing them affecting the lives of each other. Up until the midpoint, it was a nicely animated and safe pastimer I would easily score a bit above average. And then the second half begins and everything stops making sense. They are not simply switching bodies, they are also traveling in time. Something they didn't realize for many weeks, because they never attempted to communicate with each other via phones or the internet. Also, apparently nobody ever mentions the year or talks about recent events in this setting. Although they exist in different timelines, they still manage to meet with each other. First physically, by complete accident inside the train, where the boy completely forgets about her, although he was constantly in her body for weeks, and then they meet again in spirit form, thanks to the power of plot convenience. Both meetings had zero purpose to the plot other than hinting the two of them are in love, although they never exchanged a single word face to face without forgetting it a few seconds later. Because we apparently didn't have enough bullshit yet, we needed to add amnesia to the mix. As it happens in all stories about time travel, the characters are eventually trying to change history, more specifically to prevent the deaths of hundreds of people by a passing comet, an event that devastated the country and became the most tragic comet disaster in recorded history. But apparently that wasn't important enough for the boy to remember, since he somehow never heard about it. And none of that matters since the girl manages to convince her own father to evacuate the people in time, all of which happens out of screen since there is no way they could show it in a way that makes sense. Thus, the tragedy is prevented and it somehow doesn't cause a time paradox for the boy, because plot convenience. Some years later, the two of them accidentally meet each other once again and magically remember everything thanks to the power of bullshit. Then the movie ends and you're free to kill yourself. That was terrible. The movie is abusing every lazy plot convenience there is, without ever trying to explain or excuse anything. Everything is beautifully animated in order to maximize the feels without having a speck of logic in whatever is going on. You're supposed to shut your brain because of the pretty colors, laugh while they are groping breasts, cry while the girl is running in the woods, and don't give a fuck about the plot. Yet another example of why modern anime are nothing more than pretty boxes with nothing inside. Time resets, amnesia, and zero explanations, because who the hell is watching anime for quality? It's all trash entertainment for people who want to escape reality. The Butthurt Brigade has arrived, trying to justify all the bullshit in their favorite movie. Let's break apart a few. Starting with the classic one, I had my brain shut off while watching the movie. Something none of the thousands of people who scored it as the best anime of all times did. By the way, the average score is even higher now than when I made the overview. The reason I had my brain shut off was because of the pretty colors. He actually says that about me, when that is the case for everyone giving it a perfect score while blinded by the pretty colors. What I didn't get about the movie are the metaphors. It's not realistic because it's just symbolisms. You know, like Tokyo Ghoul. You're not watching a movie about actual people in a mundane setting. It's all just fancy terminology about plot devices. Stop caring about pacing or logic. At the same time, the movie makes sense. The reason they adjust so fast to the timetables is because they think it's a dream. As we all know, everything is possible in a dream, even when it's not. But that doesn't matter. If they think it's a dream, they can just go along with it and instantly understand everything they need to do. In fact, every plot convenience is excused because it's a fictional story. Of course, and it's going to be fake. Other than that, the characters are so realistic, and what they do happens all the time. And why am I saying they never try to communicate with each other when they were messaging each other all the time? With notes instead of by phone or the internet. Which would make more sense. They would have realized immediately that they are in different timelines. Not that they had to try talking in real time in order to figure that out. It's impossible to not notice the date when you go on to school, use a computer, or talk with people for several weeks. What the fuck were they talking about all this time with their schoolmates? The weather? Young people talk about recent events all the time. Same thing about the comet disaster. It's impossible to know about it but not the name of the village. Or knowing about it and not having a clue about the name of the village, he's in for all those weeks. What the fuck was he talking about with other people? And don't give me this horseshit about it makes sense why they keep forgetting each other all the time. Time paradoxes don't make you forget people, they erase events from never existing. The boy didn't forget the girl 3 years ago. If he did, he wouldn't be wearing the headband all this time. And stop pretending there is no time paradox. How can you prevent a death that never happened? And what do you mean the movie had to cater to the audience with convenience at the end? Earlier Shinkai movies were not doing that, which is exactly what was making them special. And to top everything he said so far, he used ad hominem to accuse me of the exact same things he's doing 10 times over. That's the kind of people who like this movie. No critical thinking whatsoever. Once again I am proven right. You are wrong to consider this movie anything above average. The snob wins as always. Still the highest rated anime of all time, the second highest selling film in Japan, won awards, and the fantards are still attacking me. The body switch makes complete sense. How could you be so stupid not to get it? It was caused by the comet in order to prevent the disaster. Because the comet is sentient and cares a lot about saving a few lives on a tiny planet of an infinite universe. And he does that by crashing on Earth and killing the very people it wants to save. He didn't forget there was a comet disaster. He always knew about it and was obsessed with it his entire life. He only forgot why he was obsessed, as we clearly see in how he never mentions the obsession until the reveal of the disaster. That's Retcon 101. I am wrong because it was supposed to cater the audience. It's not bullshit when it's catering. You're just excusing all the nonsense because it was cocksucking your desire for a forced happy ending. It doesn't matter if that was the point of the movie. I am talking about it made no sense in how it presented it. It's like you're telling me it doesn't matter if black people can do the same things as white people. All it matters is white people needing black slaves. Are you a fucking Nazi? This movie's making you think a lot and I can never understand it because I don't enjoy the complexity of emotions. What's wrong with pretty colors? Pretty colors equal maturity and depth. Stories don't need to make sense, and you can excuse this by appealing to the majority. It's fine because it made lots of money. It's okay because the audience was emotionally engaged. Do you know how easily you're joining a hive mind when you're inside a crowd? The comet grants wishes, and from all wishes in the world it chose to grant the wish of the girl, as well as some asshole who wished for hundreds of people to die. Now that makes sense. Or wait, she was part of a religion that was allowing her to switch bodies throughout time without knowing about it. Why is there a religion that allows that? So they can know the future and can prevent it? Why didn't the ancestors simply say, you will all die in 300 years, and instead kept switching bodies? If centuries of body switching weren't enough, how did they expect some girl who didn't even know what the hell was going on would prevent it? Or did they know about it because they saw the future and were aware that she would prevent it? But if they knew it all along, that means they could travel across alternative timelines. When was that explained in the movie? When was any of that explained in the movie? Why was a sentient comet granting wishes in order to prevent the deaths of the people it caused by allowing them to body switch, travel in time, and move across alternative timelines? If it had all these powers, it might as well use some of them so it won't crash on the goddamn planet. And by the way, how did the people find out about the powers of the comet? How did they learn them? How did they use them? Why didn't they write down about everything that will happen in the future? Where are the answers to any of that? There are no answers. Therefore I was right when I said we were never told. Why are you complaining when I was right all along? And why are you defending all that and not having an answer by just saying mystery is a wonderful thing? If you're given 15 hours, you will have plenty of time to act accordingly? What? What kind of acting is according if you're in a strange place in a different body talking to people you never met, following a schedule, and doing part-time jobs you have no idea about? 15 hours are enough of that? Especially when you admit that after every switch they forget everything. It makes sense that you don't know the date, much less the year if there are no elections. That's the only reason to know the year? Not when a new video game comes out, a new movie, the next season of your favorite series? What kind of a life do you have? And what do you mean meeting each other made sense? Wearing different uniforms means they're from a different time? It means they're from different schools. That sake thing completely broke the way body switching happens, and by throwing in self-given explanations not mentioned in the movie, such as spirits coming out at twilight means fucking nothing. They rewrote the rules and left the audience to make up a bullshit answers. Also, you're right, it's the second highest selling movie of all times. It deserves more thought than any other generic school romance such as this one, which is exactly what I did. Why do you think I made this video? To expose the bullshit and prove why modern anime suck ass and modern anime fans are emotional fucks with no taste whatsoever.
Did you get them feels? Did you feel what I felt? That shit hit me in the feels so deep.